It's 26 days to election 2020. Hello and welcome to the Midday News on your election headquarters.
We'll be burying 5 at a go. We're going to bury more. We only want to elect the public. The COVID is real, and therefore protect yourself. Observe the national protocol measures to protect yourself, protect your family.
COVID-19 still exists. Observe the safety protocols. This bulletin is coming to you live from Joy 99.7 FM in Accra at digital address GA0993341. It's also live on Love 99.5 FM in Kumasi, affiliates across the country, including ATL FM Cape Coast, Radio Max Takrade, and around the world at myjoyonline.com. Coming up, coalition of civil society organizations critical of Ijapa royalties deal demand investigation and prosecution of officials who may have been found to have breached any laws in the transaction.
We challenge the OSC to take the next logical step to investigate and prosecute any evidence of corrupt acts in accordance with his prosecutorial mandate.
More as they call for entire abrogation of the deal and reject President Akufo-Addo's directive for the deal to be sent back to Parliament for reconsideration. Also, embattled gold dealership firm Men's Gold launches another attempt at offsetting its debt. We bring you details of its new scheme, which offers parcels of land to customers.
From Men's Gold Migration to Men's Gold Global, Men's Gold Payboy, coming up with land issues again. We think this is another scam designed to defraud customers.
We'll hear more from customers who are skeptical of this latest move, and head of the ICU at the University of Ghana Medical Center reveals increase in critical cases of COVID-19 over the last 2 weeks as concerns over spike in numbers grow.
With the numbers going up, including severe and critical cases, especially in the last 2 weeks, and we anticipate that is going to continue in that direction.
In sports, we'll hear from Accra Hearts of Oak legends Yao Amankwamreku and Lawrence Ajatete on the occasion of the Phobians' 109th anniversary.
And later, find out how much commercial drivers and passengers know about seatbelts.
It feels like I'm committing suicide. I know that the seatbelt is for safety in case of accident, but I don't know how to use it.
That's coming up in Arrival Live today. I am Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Thanks for your company. The details now. The coalition of civil societies working in the extractives, anti-corruption and good governance sectors are calling for investigation and prosecution of officials who may have been found to have breached any laws in the Ijapa royalties deal. According to Dr. Steve Mantia, who spoke on behalf of the CSOs, the deal is completely defective and beyond repair. The coalition is also calling for the abrogation of the deal as against President Akufo-Addo's directive that it be sent back to Parliament for reconsideration. Here's Dr. Steve Mantiao. He spoke at a news conference on the matter a while ago.
We also note that the Minister of Finance, in his 30th October response to the OSC, disputed some of the report findings, claiming, for instance, that the ministry, and I quote, has been transparent from the onset, unquote, and has, again I quote, acted at all times in good faith throughout the transaction, unquote. Ladies and gentlemen, this response, in our view, is at variance with the facts as we have come to know them through our interaction with the Ministry of Finance on the matter. Following from these conclusions, we call for one, the entire set of Ijapa transactions to be rolled back and the transaction agreement abrogated. Parliament cannot repair the defect. Two, that steps be taken to investigate and prosecute breaches of any law. In this regard, we challenge the OSC to take the next logical step to investigate and prosecute any evidence of corrupt acts in accordance with his prosecutorial mandate. The abrogation of the Ijapa transaction should lay the ground for a more open and consultative process for options and solutions to getting the best value for our mineral resources.
The coalition is also saying they don't support calls from some quarters for the dismissal of the finance minister and other officials who participated in the transaction. The National Democratic Congress, for instance, has asked that Ken Ofori-Atta, finance minister, be sacked. But according to the CSOs, they will only endorse calls for the removal of the finance minister if a court of competent jurisdiction endorses their culpability in the deal.
To the specific question of whether we support the call for the dismissal of the finance minister, I would like to refer you to the statement that I've just read, which encourages the special prosecutor to go to the next level of properly investigating the matter and indicting all those officials who may have been implicated in any wrongdoing and maybe taking them through the court processes. It is only when a court of competent jurisdiction has found them guilty that we can now, on the basis of that ruling, begin to call for certain action, which may include, in the event of the finance minister being found guilty of the charges against him, we can ask for his removal. At this stage, I would say
apologies for that, but you were hearing Dr. Steve Mantiao, who speaks on behalf of CSOs who are critical of the Ajapa deal, and he's saying they'll only endorse calls for the removal of the finance minister if a court of competent jurisdiction finds him culpable of any irregularities or breach of the laws. Michael Kweku Asante is at that news conference and joins us with more. Kweku, why is the coalition saying the deal is so defective it cannot be repaired?
Well, so Bernice, the coalition started by saying a very big thank you in their own words to Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu for the kind of work he did on the corruption risk assessment. But he's been saying that there are some 4 specific issues with this deal which does not give any room for the president to direct that this deal be sent to Parliament for approval. For instance, Mr. Ben Boache of Africa Center for Energy Policy has been telling me that if you look at the deal, you look at 300 million cedis that Ghana can get only in this year, and you look at 500 million where Ghana was going to get on in during the entire period of this deal, it's completely off. And they cite, for instance, that they think that there's a lot of conflicts of interest. They think that there were a lot of bad motives behind the deal, for which reason it is not even important for anybody to think of sending this deal back to Parliament again. And so left to these civil society organizations alone, this deal should just be left to where it is now, and it should not go any step forward to Parliament.
Kweku, we know that even though the CSOs do not support calls for the finance minister to be dismissed or sacked until a court declares him guilty, they have issues with his response to the special prosecutor's report.
Well, yes, so Bernice, the finance minister has been writing to the president in a memo that he has been acting in good faith throughout this transaction. That's a quote from the statement that the finance minister sent to the president. But according to this civil society organization, if you look at Imara, which according to the special prosecutor was a decoy for the finance minister's company, Data Bank in Ghana, to serve as transactional advisors. If you look at all those matters are not ones that the finance minister can use as a basis to say that he's acted in good faith all throughout this transaction. And they've actually been making a point that although they do not accept calls for his dismissal, they think that if the finance minister himself can think of all that has gone on and himself decide that he would step aside, it will be a step in the right direction, but they do not support the call. But also, they do not agree that the finance minister has been acting in good faith all throughout this transaction.
Joy News reporter Kweku Asante there. Away from the Ajapa royalties deal, embattled gold dealership firm Men's Gold Ghana Limited has launched another attempt to settle thousands of its customers whose funds have been locked up since September 2018. The firm, whose CEO Nana Mensah is facing 63 criminal charges in court, has been struggling to offset its liabilities, forcing customers to consistently demonstrate at its premises and in major parts of the country. After several failed attempts to pay them, the firm is now offering parcels of land to customers who say they do not trust the move. We'll hear from them, but first, here's a report by my colleague Manuel Kranting chronicling events since Nana Mensah's return to Ghana.
I have just received an information that our CEO, that is Nana Mensah, has won his case in Dubai.
This is how Nana Mensah's release by Dubai authorities was announced on Xylophone FM in April 2019. He will be swiftly arrested upon his return to Ghana in July same year and slapped with 61 charges, including money laundering, unlawful deposit taking, and sale of minerals without license, charges he will fiercely resist.
I am protesting or refuting before the Honorable Court. Men's Gold is not a Ponzi scheme.
Addressing a presser after securing a 1 billion cedi bail, he made 3 requests while committing to repaying his customers.
We at Men's Gold are committed and do express our willingness to service our debt portfolios to our customers and business associates. We respectfully pray the Ghanaian authorities to cooperate with us to achieve number 1, make full recovery of the amount owed Men's Gold by Horizon Royal Diamond in Dubai. 2, to unfreeze our companies and my personal bank accounts and assets. 3, to clearly give direction as to which government agent has jurisdiction.
This assurance was not enough to prevent his customers from hitting the streets in demand of their funds.
No one, other Kumasi branch, Takwa branch, Accra branch, no one getting money. That's why you came. They locked our money. This morning you came here to collect my money. Other than that, I couldn't go anywhere.
After a year and a series of similar demonstrations, Men's Gold will announce Payboy, a third-party company to facilitate the payment of its customers. Operations of Payboy will soon be shut down and its officials arrested over suspicions of fraud in May 2020. As the criminal case of Nana Mensah lingered in court, his customers ran out of patience, accusing government of shielding him.
It's annoying. Only one person you people are protecting and so many people are dying in their bedrooms. It's not one being made by God and some of us have been made by the sun.
But in his latest attempt to offset his debts, Nana Mensah is inviting his customers to accept parcels of land he allegedly owns in Accra, a move being rejected by some of his customers.
Manuel Kranting with that report. Let's now speak to Fred Forson. He's spokesperson of Men's Gold customers. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So, has the company officially reached out to you and your colleagues about this new scheme?
Sure, yes. For the past 48 hours, from Men's Gold inviting us to partake in this so-called land that he says is available for purchase. And as a group, we find it quite provocative and outrageous, and we are calling on the security agencies to arrest the gentleman immediately. We don't understand why anytime one dreams of a scheme, of a scam, the people that come into his radar is the Men's Gold customers. It is our investment that we want. It's our locked-up investment that we want. So if you have got land, why don't sell your land and come and give us our money? Why do you always invite us to partake in your scam? In your earlier clip that you played, Men's Gold, he moved on to Men's Gold migration. People put their subscribe to that one. Money got locked. Earlier this year, there have been about 4 different scams that this gentleman and his company have brought on Ghanaians. One of them was the Payboy thing that you played. The Payboy was using like this whole thing. It turned out to be a scam. He came with Men's Gold Global. Turned out to be and all these things, people are falling victim to this scam. He came out with Prado. He invited people to buy Prado. People put their money there, and always Men's Gold customers are his target. what is happening in the country called Ghana. That this gentleman will have the guts to be invited, to be dreaming of schemes, scams, and only men's gold customers are his target. Don't we have security agencies in this country? Don't we have leadership in this country? Why is it that this gentleman, we were told that his assets have been frozen, his bank accounts have been frozen? So where did he get money to purchase land and be trading? What is happening?
Fred, if I get you, your problem is not that you don't want the land per se, you just want your cash back.
We don't want the land.
All right.
Let me add that since the invitation, we have sent people to the place. They have made inquiries. He's saying that the plot of land is $100,000. And for you to acquire that land, do down payment of $20,000 for him to do the indentures and those things. And this is we have less than a month to election, and I want to use your global platform to tell us, to caution our customers that they should not fall for this thing for the fifth time. Fred, this guy will collect your money and run away before the election.
Fred, are you saying that the company is asking those it owes to pay money for land that is being used to offset the debt? Is that what it is?
That is what he's saying. And not that he's just giving you the land for free. He's demanding money, $20,000 from you. He's demanding ready cash. He will never give anything to you for free. It is the same thing, it's the same scam thing that he does.
Do you know if any of your customers have subscribed to this?
They've gone there, but because when we heard of it, we have alerted them. So all the people who have so far, nobody has told me I subscribed to it, but all the people who, some of them, we actually send them to go there and make inquiries. Their report is that, yes, he says the land is there. We have done our search. He initially was telling us Abokobi and Oyerofa. We have done our search. This gentleman doesn't owe any land. Any customer who will fall prey to this thing, please note that you are going to fall just like Playboy and this man's go thing.
But before I let you go, Fred, quickly, have you received payment? We understand the company says it was paying in installments.
He has never paid anybody.
All right.
He's on social media saying that he has paid 9.6 million cedis. We urge him to publish the names of the people he has paid. He hasn't paid a peso to anybody. He has never paid. The last time we went to Xylophone, he told us he wanted to meet us last week Thursday, and that thing also turned out to be a fiasco. He's not ready to do anything. He only wants to exploit us. He's calling on the security agencies to go for him right now.
We'll leave it here, Fred. Fred Forsing, a spokesperson for Men's Gold customers, and you heard him speaking about a new scheme the company is trying to use to offset debt it owes them. But we've been making attempts to reach the company for official reaction to this, and we've not been able to do so. We would bring you details once they're willing to respond to us. Now, authorities at the University of Ghana Medical Center have revealed they are recording increases in critical cases of COVID-19, and that's been happening over the past 2 weeks. There have been growing concerns over the spike in numbers as checks reveal many Ghanaians no longer adhere to safety protocols. Although government says the situation is under control and will begin contact tracing and testing again, some health experts are warning the numbers could balloon by December. Listen to head of the ICU at the University of Ghana Medical Center, that's the UGMC, Dr. Chris Owo, who says the facility is recording severe and critical cases. He spoke on News Desk earlier on the Joy News channel.
With the numbers going up, including severe and critical cases, especially in the last 2 weeks, and we anticipate that is going to continue in that direction. We are in the process, actually I'm in a meeting just before you called me, where we are basically reactivating those other centers, and that would include the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, the new infectious disease center in Gap East, and then, if need be, the intensive care unit in University of Ghana Medical Center. Yes, so that is the situation at the moment, but...
Doc, is your facility full now?
No, we had to re-strategize because we do not have, we still have limited human capacity to spread around.
Okay.
So we created in Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. The intensive care unit in Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, as of this morning, we filled the last bed. There is one person on ventilator.
You heard the head of the ICU at the UGMT, Dr. Chris O. I spoke to him earlier on News Desk on the Joy News channel. Well, like you heard him say, some health facilities are becoming full, and, well, we understand that they may not be able to admit more COVID-19 patients if the trend continues. Head of our health desk, Fred Smith, has been monitoring the situation in the hospitals and joins us in studio with more. What are you picking up, Fred?
Well, Bernice, our case count is now nearing 50,000, and many people are recovering, though. But because we are recording new cases now, we're having lots of people who require hospitalization, and therefore the facilities are seriously under pressure as we speak. At the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, we understand that all the beds reserved for COVID treatment have been exhausted. In fact, since last week, those who recover are discharged, but immediately there are other patients. This situation has resulted in what we heard from the UGMC, that more patients are now being brought there with symptoms. So far as we speak, we have about 11 persons nationally whose case is severe. 4 of them are critical and 2 of them are currently on the ventilator.
Head of our health desk, Fred Smith. The meanwhile presidential candidate for the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga, is asking President Akufo-Addo to ban all political rallies with immediate effect to avert further spread of COVID-19. This demand comes on the back of Kodeo's pre-election environment observation, which indicates the 2 major political parties, that's the NPP and the NDC, have not done enough to prevent the spread of the virus.
When we make laws as government of the day and we ignore it, then we are endangering the lives of the people we say we love. But clearly, is it love or is it hatred? Or is it abuse of sin? There are protocols to COVID-19, and the people are abiding by those protocols. And we, the people, same people who impose those laws and pass those laws, are breaking those laws. So I think that the president should come out again from Monday onwards, or Tuesday or Wednesday, to stop and ban the rallies of political parties, including himself.
In the election season, they need to know their campaign.
You can send a
campaign message. You're actually selling campaign message.
Yeah, I can. I'm doing it right now.
To ban
yes, I'm doing it right now.
You have the presidential candidate of the All People's Congress, Hassan Ayariga. This is the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Bernice Abu-Baidoo Lansah. Still to come, find out how much commercial drivers and their passengers know about seatbelts.
It feels like I'm committing suicide. I know that the seatbelt is for safety in case of accident, but I don't know how to use it.
We'll bring you details in a moment.
Fellow Ghanaians, the stakes are high for our country this December. Don't stay home.
Remember, this election is about your future. Which of the candidates will you trust with managing our economy better? Which leader can give us free SHS and enhance the education of our children? Who can you trust to protect us during dark periods such as COVID-19? Who has the competence to protect our economy, build roads and dams?
Do you remember the dark periods of Doomsaw, Create, Loot and Share Brigade?
This December, remember, we cannot afford the risk. Let's vote for Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP to protect our progress.
Life as we know it has changed. Everything's rearranged and disrupted. But one thing remains constant. Excellence must be celebrated even in a disruptive era. So, to usher in the 31st Marketing Performance Awards, the CIMG will be celebrating a marketing week from the 9th to the 13th of November. Then on Saturday, the 14th of November at 7 p.m., all roads lead to the Labadi Beach Hotel for the CIMG Marketing Performance Awards to honor companies and individuals who have excelled within the marketing arena in 2019. Theme: Marketing in a Disruptive festive era. The awards event will be streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. For corporate table reservations, call 0244 585 208 or 0208 177 752. All the COVID-19 protocols will be strictly observed. CIMG, marketing means business. CIMG, working for Ghana.
Thanks for staying on the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's now time for sports, and Phobia is celebrating their birthday today.
109 years. I wonder what do you be doing when you turn 109 years? Well, they wore the rainbow colors with pride, dominating the domestic competitions and winning continental trophies. In the late 90s and early 2000s, former skipper of Accra Hearts of Oak, Yao Amankwa-Mreku, and midfielder Lawrence Ajatete have been sharing the expectations of the current team on the occasion of the club's 109th anniversary.
The situation is high. Yes, you can see from the board, from the management, from the technical team. But then you see, I always say that with all these efforts, if the players could not perform, so the players are there to fulfill what with the management, the board, and the technical team has done. And so I'm expecting, not me alone. I know Ghanaians are all expecting something better, and supporters are longing for victory and laurels as well.
It's quite a long time since, I think 10 years now, the team having won, especially the domestic trophy. No, we are not meant for that. As of folk meant for international. Though we respect the domestic, but we don't value too much. We value the international, that's the ultimate. Because the club, we came and made most of our senior men have played the club and they have won league. So that's what we put inside these guys, the premiership also meant a lot. We value it. So, but our main ultimate should be the international.
That's Yao Amankwa-Mreku and Lawrence Ajatete. What else can we say to Accra Hearts of Oak? Happy birthday, Phobia. That's your sport.
Thanks, Hans. And the Northern Regional Police says it has beefed up security in the Karaga constituency and is conducting patrols in communities there. There was some political disturbance on Monday between the supporters of the two main political parties in the area. This resulted in several casualties, and one person is in critical condition. Northern Region Crime Officer Superintendent Bernard Baba Ananga says some suspects mentioned as perpetrators have fled the town. He joins us on the phone lines. Hello, sir. Hello, Superintendent. Well, we've lost him there. We'll be following this keenly and bring you updates on this particular story. Now, seat belts save lives, but how much do commercial drivers know this? Well, as you'll find out in the following report, some of them don't even know how to use them. Mamiesi Nyamicha Thompson has more in Arrival Live for today, brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority with support from Toyota Ghana Logistics Movers and the Joy News Drive Safe campaign.
Rukaya sat at the back of a minibus at the Neoplan station bound for Kumasi. She had no idea what the belt strapped by her seat was. So I offered to teach her how to use it, and she quickly embraced the idea. When you sit in the car, just pull the strap and insert it. Kwabna Mensah, another passenger, did not know how to strap the belt, and although he tried to impress me, it was obvious he did not know what he was doing.
It feels like I'm committing suicide. I know that the seatbelt is for safety in case of accident, but I don't know how to use it.
Statistics show that 3 out of 4 passengers died during car crashes because they failed to buckle up. I observed that many of the commercial drivers didn't care much for the use of seat belts.
The seatbelt makes me very uncomfortable when I'm driving. I prefer to drive without it.
Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson with that report. Remember to wear a seatbelt so you can save your life. It's now time for Showbiz. Mapito Sibidi, what's happening?
Now, the National Film Authority has called on Ghanaians to suggest the name for the film industry of the country, with names including Kumawood, Gollywood, and several others already flying around. The authority set up by government to streamline activities of the industry has reached out to the public for their inputs. Speaking in an interview with Mercury Quay on Daybreak Hits, Executive Secretary of the National Film Authority, Julieta Santi, has more.
If you go, for instance, on Netflix at the moment, just as an example,
right,
you'll notice that most Ghanaian films are classified as Nollywood. We are not Nollywood. And that has its own implications with branding, with sales, with so many aspects that we can't go into this morning.
Right.
And so for us, it is to address all of that. But we don't want to sit in our corner and come up with a name that we want to force everybody to come along with. We want this to be an inclusive process.
So what will be your name for the Ghana movie industry? On Twitter, the Accra Hearts of Oak is trending.
Yeah, because it's their birthday and we've got a documentary on their anthem. Interesting revelations. They do join our Joy Sports team at 4:30 p.m. on the Joy News channel for more on that. But that's how we end this edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I really appreciate your company. Thank you for choosing us. We are your home of independent, credible and fearless journalism. Don't go away yet. At 1, we've got business news for you. Shortly, Dr. Menso Tabo will be teaching, continuing his series on choices.
When you want it, just